All right, woodchuck chuckers. We've got Mark and Marky in the kitchen, and we are working on our Cajun roux, and that is just fairly simple. It's just a flour and an oil, and we're gonna use that to make our shrimp etouffee, and we'll be back in a second here. Okay, so we're still stirring, and you can see it's starting to turn a little darker. We're going to want this a little bit darker than a peanut butter color. All right, so you can see it's really starting to darken up there, and the smell is just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to darken that just a little bit more. You know, we've got that peanut butter color and consistency almost. You might just throw a little bit more flour in there. Alrighty, so we added just a little more flour, and that's just about where we want it to be. If I was making a gumbo, I'd probably go darker. So what we're going to do is we're going to reserve some of that, and then we're going to start with our Trinity, our pepper, onion, and celery. Okay, now we're going to add our celery, our pepper, our onion, our Trinity. And then we're going to cook that down a little bit. We're also going to add some of our Cajun spice in now. Go ahead. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit of our Cajun seasoning. Paprika. There's some thyme in there, salt, pepper. And we're going to sweat these down just a little more, and then we're going to add a little bit of beer to loosen that up. Okay, so we've got our roux and our Trinity where we like it. And now we're going to just start thinning this with some beer. Now when you're pouring that down there, you want to keep that cup close to that hot skillet, because you don't want it flaming back on you or bubbling back on you. Okay. And that's just going to add another layer of flavor. You know, I wouldn't add any fruity beers. You know. Okay. So we're going to mix this in now. Now we're getting close. Okay, so we've simmered down our beer. We're going to throw some bay leaves in there now just to give it a little more flavor. A lot of different spices used in this. So you've got your thyme and paprika. The bay leaves are going to add another wonderful, wonderful flavor. I actually use them when I do some of my chowders and stuff. So they're in there. Let's throw one more in. And next we're going to do our shrimp stock. Now the shrimp stock we've made ahead of time, and basically we've boiled down shells and other shrimp in there that we've used for some of our other things. So this is going to make our etouffee, which is basically our, means to smother, our smothering sauce. We're going to add probably a little bit more. We don't want it like a soup, we want it more like a heavy gravy. So we might add another ladle or so. Okay, so we're in the final flavoring step. So that's about how loose we want it. You know, it's like a somewhat runny gravy. And we tasted it, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a little more heat to it. Sorry if I'm going off camera there. So we added a little more heat, and we're going to add some Worcestershire, maybe, I don't know, a tablespoon or two. And that's going to add another layer of flavor in there. Now your Worcestershire is also going to put some salt in there, so if you feel it needs a little more salt, hold off until the final piece. Okay, so we're going to put our shrimp in now. We've got to the seasoning level we like, and we're going to cook the shrimp in there And then we're going to plate this bad boy up. These are raw shrimp, so we cook them in the etouffee sauce. And then we'll be right back. Okay, so Marky Mark has finished up his pan of shrimp smothered in a roux gravy. Tastes absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to do the traditional serve up. We're going to serve it over rice here. And, you know, basically, shrimp etouffee is smothered shrimp. And it would be served up in any restaurant that serves this dish just like this. We're going to put a few more shrimp on there. And then we're just going to add a little more of that wonderful Cajun gravy. Now, just to finish that off, just to give it a final little topping, what we're going to do, a little bit of fresh parsley and green onion, and we're going to sprinkle that over the top. There we go. Beautiful. There you have it. This is the plate we'll be serving up during Mardi Gras. Our shrimp etouffee a la Venango General Store. Great job. This is Mark and Marky from the kitchen.